welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and we are stress testing this new post-ban format with Bug Lutri. One of the main criticisms of the pre-ban format is that games were all decided somewhere between turn 2 and 3, and fair, grindy Magic was not legal, and whole entire strategies were not reasonable to play. And here we are, Patreon subscriber God Santa, in a deck titled I Miss the Old Delve Creatures, has put all of the Delve creatures in Bug, or at least most of them, all the ones that I can remember playing in my life, are in this deck. We've got Up the Beanstalk here as a draw engine that triggers off some of these cards, and then just filling in the deck with a bunch of spicy one-ofs. The Bug Wedge Sultai is so satisfying. Just dope-ass cards exist here. We've got like Abrupt Decay, Witherbloom Command, Nadu, there's one Shuko in the deck, Leovold, Uro. How much fun is this? Obviously, in Magic, it is the job of a deck builder to try to reduce variance, to try to have more games that look the same and execute their strategy more frequently. And using Lutri as your companion, the rules for whom is each non-land card in your starting deck has a different name. That creates variance, but it does it in a way that is a delight. I have played combo Lutri before on the channel. I know people are going to bring it up immediately. Tainted Pact, Thassa's Oracle. You copy the Tainted Pact with the Lutri. It's a self-contained combo. I know. I've done it before. That's not what this is. This is just 38 exciting one-ofs that exist in the Legacy format and some lands to cast them. I'm going in. Let's see if we can make this work. Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy is having 2 events in early 2025. January 25th, find them in Houston, Texas, and February 1st, find them in Columbus, Ohio. Win your place in history by getting your name on the infamous Buffalo Chicken Dip Trophy, and enjoy delicious Buffalo Chicken Dip while you play. BCDL is one of the premier grassroots tournament organizers in the Legacy community. If you're near Houston or Columbus, check them out. Strongly recommended from me. Sign up through the spicerack.gg links in the video description or through spicerack.gg. I'm on the play in round 1. I'm going to keep. I got my Brainstorm, the one that I get. I can interact on turn 1. There are 2 Surveil lands in the deck that I have access to either. I'm just going to lead on Misty Rainforest and pass. The only basic in the deck is Island. I don't really need to think about how to sequence my fetch lands other than that. Tamiyo. Can't spell pierce that one. I'm going to get Undercity Sewers. I am in the market for a removal spell here. Tassiger the Golden Fang, what's up? I'll keep that. Tassiger was a card that I played quite a bit of when it was new to the Legacy format. But then people realized Karakas was a legal Magic card, and Tassiger got a lot worse very quickly. I kept the Tassiger. How quickly can I deploy this thing? I think I want to play Nethergoyf this turn. Reanimate doesn't look like it's going to be super helpful here. Okay, I'm going to drop this Nethergoyf, and we will have MH3 beat down against each other. I'm going to get the Bayou to round out my colors. Blue to Delta can get Tropical Island, and then they can't take me off a color with a single piece of disruption. Dazing that is fine. I didn't like it that much anyway. What decks have Tamiyo and Daze in them? Are we playing against a Dreadnought strategy? Or is this just like Dimir Tempo that has used Tamiyo to grind? The basic island probably would not be in like a Grixis style deck. 3-color tempo decks usually can't afford a basic land. They do not shuffle their Ponder. I'm drawing wild here. Ah, my very own. I think I'm just going to play Tassiger and Tamiyo here with Spell Pierce available. My Tamiyo. My Tassiger. I'm just going to obliterate this Nethergoyf from my graveyard. Who needs it? Tassiger is better when you have fewer cards in your graveyard anyway. Force of Will, pitching Dress down. Okay, so the Dreadnought story is being told even more now. Spell Pierce, a second Force of Will. but I thought about it. They're going. Force pitching Brainstorm. All right, they really don't want to play against Tassiger. All right, that's fair. The Golden Fang. Banana Boy. Too strong. Okay. That was a 2 for 4. A good exchange. I'll take it. Including pitching a Brainstorm, a card that could flip their Tameo. They are going to recoup these cards pretty quickly with their clues. Curie. All right, 100% Dreadnought. As if there was any doubt at this point. Stifle. I can help with their Dreadnoughts. I think I would like to cycle this Lorien Revealed. I can't play around Daze either way, but I can at least advance my mana. Lutri's a 6 mana play. That's eventually important. I could get this Volcanic Island. It only goes in the main deck with Questing Druid. I'm not really into that. I think I'm going to get another Underground Sea because black is the color I'm most interested in supporting right now. I'm going to see if Nadu resolves. They would need Daze in their hand because they only have 1 card. Cool. All right, Nadu's in play. Just fair Nadu. I wonder if they're mono blue Dreadnought. That is possible. Exact a clue. Nadu's big enough that attacking with either of these creatures doesn't make sense. Ooh, a Tundra revealed. Okay, they're not mono blue. They were just playing on basics for a while. Oh no, the Questing Druid. The Seek the Beast, the one card that I just said is in my deck that I might care about here. I'm going to draw a card with my clue. Hit a Bayou. Does Stifle do anything? I could Stifle Tameo flipping. I could flip my Tameo and leave up Stifle. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. The block. Oh no. Flash and Door in the Siege Tower. I'm drawing a card. Tameo triggers. Plus. And I drew Baleful Strix. This was one of my additions to the deck. There were a few cards that I changed. Just, it's seasoned to taste. Like, God Santa didn't have Baleful Strix in the deck. I had to cut Psychic Frog because this deck was submitted before the ban update. Had to make some changes there. Oh, they're going to get blown out by Stifle here. I'm going to Stifle the second clue draw and then block. That was nasty. Block. Yeah, I had to replace Psychic Frog. There was some stuff like Hymn to Tarak that I just couldn't play with because cards like Baleful Strix felt more important to me. The Leovold in my main deck was in the sideboard. God Santa had Pernicious Deed in the main at first. It's literally all seasoned to taste. It barely even matters. And I'm taking for my Shuko at this point. Oh, wow. Well, holding up Counterspell is pretty strong. Just get a plus Tameo and pass here. Attack with Nadu. Gotta get damage done somewhere. Curie does not have power on its own. Ponder. Even if they do Swords of Plowshares, the Baleful Strix, Curie's not drawing any cards here, and I am flipping with Nadu. It is both a strength and weakness of a deck like this one that you don't specifically do anything. It's just kind of a bunch of cards that all have good rates, and it's hard to collapse your strategy. It's also hard to execute your strategy because you don't actually have one. But I'm not going to, like, get stifled or consigned to memory at the end of a chain. That's just not how anything works. Okay, this could get nasty. If my opponent has a counterspell that costs less than 1, I might get Curied my face off here. Curie has to hit a player to draw cards, though, which means they can't clear Tameo with it. And I do get to block it with Strix, but I take 11 and they draw 12. But the counterspell did its job, and we don't have to worry about any of that. Another counterspell. I don't even play that many. Plus Tameo. I'll just keep the beats coming. Next turn, I draw half my deck. What are you going to do? They could stifle the activation. That would actually be really good. Baleful Strix holding the fort. My fort! Okay, flipped Gurmag Angler. This doesn't even really do anything, though. Like, Tameo gets to make a clue, but I'm not taking damage. Curie doesn't trigger. Uh-oh, did we forget? Zoop, zoop, zoop. 0 is not damage in Magic rules. Like, Curie doesn't deal 0 and then draw cards equal to its base power. It just does not actually deal damage. Okay, that was fun. Cards that are probably good. Consign to Memory, counters Dreadnoughts. I don't need to bring in my extra forces here, which is good, because they're in the sideboard because you lose Lutri if you do this. Red Blast seems pretty solid here. Pernicious Deed. Force of Vigor. Snuff Out kills every card we've seen. Dismember is a maybe. I'm not going to Pithing Needle Curie. I'd rather fight over the Dreadnoughts. Dismember and Valor maybes. I think these are all yeses. What do we got in here? Witherbloom Command can kill a flipped Tameo. That's a big deal. Abrupt Decay, just money here. Tarmogoyf, kind of mid. Brazen Borrower's money. Oh, I don't care about Force Negation. You're out of here. Spell Pierce, Stifle. Reanimate. Nothing to reanimate here. Reanimate your Dreadnought and it dies. Deal. I don't think Nile Spellbomb matters. I like all my cantrips. Daze is fine. Dothy Voidwalker doesn't block and doesn't really affect anything that's happening. That could probably go. I like the one Force of Will. I don't dislike Force enough to cut the one I have, but I'm not going to lose Lutri to bring the others in. Do I want this Veil of Summer? And if so, where does it go? It could be a Wasteland deck. Light from the Loam still has some text. We saw a lot of basics. I don't even know if wasting them is any good. All right, I'm going to leave out Veil, I guess, and do this. Ooh, this is not ideal. This is the wrong dual land to cast Ponder with. Bayou Ponder Mulligan. New slogan. There are 21 more lands in this deck. They're probably a Wasteland deck. They're almost certainly a Stifle deck. I'm going to mulligan this. This is the same problem, except this one is basic and I have Daze to go with it. I will try this and I'm going to bottom Pernicious Deed. That one's just miles away from being useful. I might just lose this game very quickly. One for Tundra. And they have the Tameo. Found a removal spell, kind of. Not for a long time. Tameo's in. Oh, opponent also kept a one-lander. Come on, deck. Fetch land. A Wasteland. That might be even more messed up. Yeah, waste your single source of mana that you have. Probably should have done this on their turn. Okay, good. They didn't stifle it anyway. And they didn't use the mana. All right. Tameo is way less scary if they can't crack the clues or cast Brainstorm to flip it. Boo, boo, lucky. What would I know about drawing a land when you didn't have one? This is bullshit. On deck. Keep him coming. Stifle. That's actually gross. Look at me. I'm the Stifle deck now. If they just measure extreme patience here and just attack with Tameo and never do anything till they have to, they could break me out of this. Oh, or not, sucker. Fetch. I think here I get Bayou to unlock all of my colors and lead on a Thoughtseize. Oculus. Multiple prismatic endings, Doorkeeper Thrall, Daze. It weirdly might be Curie that I fight over here. Doorkeeper Thrall does less on its own. Yeah, I'm going to take Curie. This hand does not beat my Stifle right now, which is what I'm hoping to just hold the fort with for a while. Hope they try to fetch Meticulous Archive in the end step and get Shadow Realmed. Let's go. Got him. Ka-chow! Okay, if they draw a land right now, they're back in. But if they don't, I'm cooking. All right, the fourth clue created. And it's my turn again. Lorien revealed. Let's go. Let's go. My game is unlocking here. Island cycle this for Underground Sea. Underground Sea. Ethereal Forager puts Lorien, Stifle, and Thoughtseize back in the grip. Oh, I cycled wrong to do that. Never mind. Not an option. I could play Bowmaster. I could Nethergoyf plus Murderous Cut, but I don't think I care about Murderous Cut. I'm going to drop Nethergoyf. Just start actually winning this game. If I had thought about that sequencing for 1 second longer and realized how sick Ethereal Forager is here, I probably would have done that. The fifth clue created. And they are going to discard now. We're getting card advantage off of this. Dump to consign. Oh my god. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. That kills all the clues immediately, but I don't care. If I play Forager, I lose Cut. But that's fine. Forager's sick. I'm playing around Daze. I could Daze a Force. Sick. Now I have a creature that could beat Tameo in combat. They're nowhere near Prismatic Ending on this. And when I attack, I just get my Stifle back for the next fetch land you draw. Counterspell in the grip. I haven't attacked with one of these in a long time. I'll take the Stifle back to my hand. They were afraid to block the Nethergoyf. Don't want to lose Tameo. And I will just pass the turn. I can deploy Bowmaster if nothing happens here. A fetch land. They know I have that covered. Obviously, my opponent is just like super screwed, but this game has been a delight for me. They don't know about this Daze. They do know about the Stifle. 1 to you. Fetch land. What does this do? It doesn't hurt. That's what it does. If I buy back Thoughtseize here, I don't think I care what's in their hand. If I buy back Lure and Revealed, I can push an extra damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 2-turn clock anyway. I don't need the extra damage. And I will Thoughtseize. We got the GGs. Second game was rough, opponent. I feel you. But yeah, that was a good time. I'm going to leave them with this Brainstorm. It kills them if they cast it. I don't think I care about any of this. I'll take the Daze so they just can't fight back if anything does happen. And pass the turn. Turn 1 Tameo. Never drew a card. Made a clue every turn. It's turn 9. Just no chance. That was sick. That's one way to control a Tameo. Tough beats opponent, sorry. Though I did Stifle and Wasteland them, it's not like they just kept a 1-lander and didn't get there. This is part of the Bug Mana Denial package. So we did this. They didn't get unlucky. We did it to them. On to the next round. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here. Don't miss Magic Spotlight Foundations, January 3rd through 5th, 2025 at SCGCon Atlanta. Kick off the new year with Magic's most exciting new event. Compete in the brand new Foundation Standard format with $50,000 in prizes, 8 Pro Tour Aether Drift invites, and it's the only place to get the exclusive, borderless Terror of the Peaks promo card with art by the beloved Richard Kane Ferguson. All main event participants will get the exclusive Terror of the Peaks, but the top 128 will also earn a foil version of this breathtaking promo. Your path to the Pro Tour starts here, but only if you're part of the action. Come join me for Magic Spotlight Foundations at SCGCon Atlanta, January 3rd through 5th. Your sign-up link is in the video description. I'm on the draw in round number 2. I'm going to keep my hand. I'm playing against Bob Wong. I don't know what he's doing in this format. Fresh off the bans. He's probably playing some deck that he believes will win a lot. That's more Bob's MO than me with my Lutri. I do have the Miser's main deck Nile Spellbomb, though, if he's just sending it on Reanimator. He was playing a Dimir Show and Tell Reanimator deck at Eternal Weekend. Turn 1 Urza Saga, okay. Well, we know there's not a Vexing Bauble coming out of that. I'd love to find a Wasteland. I even have the Loam to go with it. Ancient Tomb. All right, we're just doing this. That sideboard Pernicious Deed looking good right now. Undercity Sewers. Show me a Wasteland. Tropical Island. Don't need that. Murderous Cut. That is a card I can almost cast. I'm going to play Nile Spellbomb, just in case. There are Storm decks that do this. Construct Token. I'm going to fetch a Bayou right now, just in case there's a Pithing Needle in the deck. This could still be a lot of things. Don't really have any information yet, outside of it's an Urza Saga deck. Could be 8 cast, could be Mystic Forge combo. Could be something like Black Saga Storm. Could be Painter. The range is wide open. I could Murderous Cut this turn if I'm willing to just discard Nile Spellbomb. I could bomb them, not draw a card, exile 4. Oh, that suddenly is tempting. All right, we missed the boat on that. If I could have turned off this Mox Opal, it would have been a little more tempting. Yeah, it looks like Mystic Forge combo just coming in hot. Yep, there we go. Okay, I could save 6 damage here. Do I think Nile Spellbomb matters? All right, it doesn't. Murderous Cut this. I don't like this, obviously. It's not what I put Nile Spellbomb in my deck to do. I could have just not played the Spellbomb and tapped an extra mana, also, if I wanted to play that route. Orcish Bowmaster. I think just slamming Leovold is my best bet here. That at least turns off the One Ring, which is not the card they have, but it is a card that their deck uses to win. And if they're digging for something, I could try to pump the brakes on it. Didn't exile the top card of the deck, which means it's a good one. Fleshraker. Okay, we're dead. Damage to each opponent. Doesn't even target. Don't even get the benefit of Leovold on this. Commander design. Ruining my Leovold. A card banding commander. Good job, Leovold. You deserve this. Live your best life, buddy. Double Fleshraker. My flesh is going to be extremely raked. Not a removal spell in sight. Okay. Opponent is Hellbent, but Hellbent with a Mystic Forge and double Fleshraker could still cast your deck. Tap the Monolith, so there's something that costs more than 2 on top of the deck right now. The backup Forge. as I take 1000 damage. Now I have to jump with Leovold because this construct's big enough. I'm actually really glad I Murderous Cut it last turn, or else I'd literally bid it dead already, but I have no outs here. This is an important thing to remember about the new post-ban format. Mystic Forge, the whole combo engine is still legal. Nothing was touched there, just their ability to Mind Twist all opponents for 1 mana. Okay, we're dead here. All right, Force of Vigor comes in, Pernicious Deed comes in, Consigned to Memory is a no-brainer. This is a matchup where we're not going to present Lutri post-board. Sorry, buddy. Might still be in the main deck. We'll see. Pithing Needle can name Urza Saga, or the One Ring, or Karn the Great Creator. That's probably good enough. Snuff Out and Dismember can kill Glaring Fleshraker, if that is the aspect of the deck I want to focus on. It's probably not, I'm going to be honest. A Nile Spellbomb's out. Reanimate's out. Tameo, Stifle, Spell Pierce, Peridian Ponder, Brainstorm, Daze, Counterspell. These cards are all good. Dothy, Voidwalker, Life from the Loam. If I could get them in a waste lock, Life from the Loam's actually good. I'll move this back to the maybe pile. Witherbloom Command can find targets. Strix is pretty mid, but it is blue. I'll put it in the maybe pile for now. I don't think I need chunky top end. I need to be alive, and then I can win with whatever. Tombstalker is going to take a break. Burrow's really slow here, but it can dig and stabilize versus a mid-range construct plan. I love Nadu. You're staying in. Netherglyph's pretty small. Borrower's fine. Hooties is worse than Gurmag. I think Hooties is the worst of the Delve creatures still in here. It's Life from the Loam, Questing Druid, Tarmogoyf, or Netherglyph that I'm thinking about now. I think it's Questing Druid, actually. That card's been really awkward. I only have the one red source, and I don't want to have to prioritize it or think about it at all. Slow, but not unreasonable. Have cards that have interaction on them a little bit. The Witherbloom Command, I hope to see just like turn 1 defense grid, and then I get an actual 2-for-1 out of it. Spiked my Volcanic Island after cutting my red card. Easy game. Enter Nexus. Might just jam a turn 2 One Ring into the sewer. Force of Negation, slam it right on top. Let's go. That's what I'm looking for. Just a little breathing room. Mystic Forge is not a deck that puts a lot of cards in its own graveyard. The Drown in the Lock's a little wonky here. I might have to target my opponent with the Mill 3 on Witherbloom Command to really get this on. Or I might just pitch Drown in the Lock to Force of Negation right now. We'll see what happens. There's a Saga. That's in. Oh, we're on the super slow. I'll get my other Surveil land. Preordain. I'll keep it. And I'm going to fetch first, because you don't want to scry to the bottom and then immediately shuffle the cards back into the deck. I could also just ram Tasigur right now. Hold up Force past the turn. That sounds fine, actually. Can't let you just bleed me out with this Urza Saga. I guess casting Preordain would have been free there. It replaces itself and I get to do more. Been a while since I played with honest delve threats. Only dishonest ones. Murktide Regent. This does give me options of blue cards to pitch, but this Drown on the Lock just seems really far away from useful. So that might not even be true, because the Saga dies next turn, and if I target them with Witherbloom Command, then Drown on the Lock is on for 4, which is enough. Though now I don't have a land to pick up. If I draw a fetch land, I'll consider that line. Ancient Tomb. Just passing it back. 7 cards in hand. What could go wrong? Okay, I'm going to start with this Preordain. Pithing Needle and Brainstorm. Just top. Probably make a construct in response here. I can kill that with Drown in the Lock. Okay, I'm going to name Urza Saga with this. No surprise there. Attack with Tasigur. And Brainstorm's on top of my deck. I could kill this construct right now and mill myself for 3, try to hit my land drop. I still have Pitch Force available. Alright, sorry Brainstorm. Target player mills 3, target creature -3/-1. Hope there's a land in here. Or else this is just a bad removal spell. Nope, missed. Milled Brainstorm, Force of Vigor, Ethereal Forager. I may soon be hellbent in activating Tasigur, as Garfield intended. Glaring Fleshraker resolves. Can't interact with that one. Mox Opal's not on yet. Tutored Manifold Key out of the Saga. Opal's on now for a total of 5 mana. 5 cards in hand, a reasonable number. And Tasker now completely blank from this infinite barrage of chumps. Well, this one must be interacted with. I'm getting a turn. Nethergoyf, you suck. I'll attack for 4. Might just chump, might not block at all if the mana kills me next turn. Yep, not interested. And Nethergoyf, Volcanic Island. I could activate Tassiger, but the shields are down. Tassiger has way too many toys in the graveyard. For those who don't know, because it's been a while, for 4 mana, I can mill 2 cards, then return a non-land card of an opponent's choice from my graveyard to my hand. With this many options, could just give me like Preordain or Forager that doesn't matter for 2 turns, or like Force of Vigor with no green card to pitch. If my opponent can win right now, he knows the coast is clear. Mystic Forge has resolved. Okay, lost a life to exile a card. A small moment of breath. Can Manifold Key to exile another card, but that's going to cost a spawn and a life, which means has to block Tassiger from now on. Okay, we've got a spell. Kozilek's Command. Make a spawn, scry 1, draw a card. Scry to the top. So he's got a card in his hand that he likes, in addition to the other 4 cards that were already there. Manifold Key. And Fleshraker is so gnarly. Casting a Grim Monolith off these 2 spawns would be a lot of action. Okay, we're untapping the Mystic Forge, so this is kind of desperate. Exiled a Karn. 1 mana here. Another key. Okay, so that's just a wash. And for turn is Beseiju. Held that one for a very long time. Looks like I'm getting a turn, and I'm going to activate Tassiger in the year of our Lord 2024. Almost 2025. I hit Lauren Reveal and Thoughtseize. I think Ethereal Forager is the least harmful thing here. Okay, Thoughtseize. So his hand must be bad then. That's reasonable. I do already have a sorcery in my graveyard. The Nethergoyf being 1 point bigger would actually force a block here with the Glaring Fleshraker. You can't return lands. Okay, he's just taking the full blocks. Cool. Probably can't afford to go to 1 either with Ancient Tomb and Mystic Forge as the game plan. I could have also activated Tassiger if he didn't block Nethergoyf, and if I hit a land, he's dead. Because you can't give me a land back. And I have 2... Oh, I only have 1 creature. Alright, no, that would have been pretty dangerous. I would have had to mill a creature and a land. Or a land and a unique card type, a different unique card type. Alright, what's the big payoff? My 1 unknown card, tap 5 for Force of Will. Yeah, let's go. Now I gotta avoid 1 on the draw. Generally, when I'm playing normal Magic decks, I don't like bringing in more removal for the Fleshraker versus Forge. Like if I'm a Swords to Plowshares deck, I'll even cut Swords to Plowshares, but this deck is trying to solve a variety of problems with this disparate spread of answers. I think at least Snuff Out is good enough. Slight from the Loam's really slow. Its only real function is to wastelock them. Alright, I'm off of life. I do like the creatures that apply damage. Nadu's my combo. Send a combo back at him. Fatal Push versus Dismember. Taking 4 is rough. But I do have mana in the deck. I won't always have Revolt. But killing a Construct has mattered both games so far. Alright, definitely Loam is going out. And definitely Snuff Out's coming in. What am I doing about this Dismember and this Fatal Push? I could cut my basic island because my opponent is not going to attack my mana. And play 21 lands plus Lorien Revealed. Okay, I'll try this. Oh, that's too many cards. I get to keep the Fatal Push. Is Push better than Island? No, I'm going to keep more hands. Island it is. Let's go. Right back. Figured it out. Well, we're going to test the theory. I have to Snuff Out. I have Force Blue card. I have Wasteland. This is almost the best card. Best spread of cards I could ask for as this weird one-of deck. Tower. Mishra's Research Desk. You got it. Spell Pierce. It just keeps getting better. I'm going to pass. I don't want to waste an Urza's Tower. I'd rather hit an Urza's Saga or a Planar Nexus. There's the Nexus. Spell Pierce this Forge. Nasty. And the Patience on the Wasteland rewarded. Take out Nexus. Ah, come on. Flipping the Research Desk. 2 cards entered, 1 ring and dismember. Definitely going to pick the 1 ring. Can be cast until the end of next turn. All right, and unearthed the research desk immediately. Doesn't that cost 1 to activate? Did we oopsie? Whoops. That's okay. That's a weird card. I feel you. Wasteland off the top. Tassiger. Banana. All right, Banana Daddy. What do you have for me? Nothing? Nothing helpful? Okay, I'm going to have to force this 1 ring. And the Wasteland was just a 50-50. If I waste the tower, there's 3 more in the deck. If I waste the Nexus, there's 3 more in the deck. But Nexus is better if they have neither than Urza's Tower is. Oh my god. There's no world I'm beating this, so counter it. And there might just be another spell in hand. Alright, nothing to do with 3 mana there. Joe Garmaggio. Oh, I can slam the Banana Daddy, and then it's shields down. But at least I'm attacking. Alright. Banana Daddy, let's go! This has come up a lot. It just wants to be in play. The Tassiger longs for the Legacy format. And turns out, opponent had 2 towers and 2 nexuses, and it didn't matter what I wastelanded there at all. But the second wasteland now knocks them from 7 mana down to 2. Come on, wasteland. Ancient Tomb. Now we have hundreds of mana. 8 in the pool. We're going to exile Tassiger with the Kozilek's command. I can't even wait. Oh, Vile Tragedy. That's definitely what's happening. Adios, Tassiger. Okay, 1 on the top, 5 on the bottom. Pretty aggressive Scry. Did not draw Wasteland. Don't have double green for Force of Vigor, mostly because of Volcanic Island being in the deck. I think we could safely cut the red cards. I'm going to be honest. No play with all this mana. Terrifying. That's one of the better cards I have. He's still just playing Draw Go. This is a spot where playing against a skilled player is tricky because a bad player would probably just shove whatever it is they have. Like, they kept a card off Kozilek's command. There's something that they liked and just have not continued to advance since then. Right, I'm going to consign to memory this Kozilek's command. This is probably really aggressive, but I also can't afford my opponent to have 35 mana and pick their next 6 cards. That also puts 1 point of power on my Netherglyph. We're in there. The 1 ring. Good job. It's over. I have a Pithing Needle in my deck. I have Leovold in my deck. If I even get a turn. 1 ring draws another 2 cards. 1 ring draws another 3 cards. They also don't take damage from Ancient Tomb this turn because of ring protection. I have to somehow hope that drawing in their entire deck with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana, plus whatever else, whiffs multiple times until the 1 ring kills them. That's my actual plan to victory now. Could put Null Rod, Collector Roof, that sort of thing in the 75. They're not here currently, but if this is going on in your metagame, go for it. Defense Grid. I clearly already don't have anything. You could stop. Fleshraker. Oh no. The Defense Grid actually matters. I'm 1 mana short of snuffing this thing out. I'm getting a turn. Orcish Bowmaster is not bad. I'm going to snuff out Fleshraker, and I have to main phase this. I'm going to shoot the Eldrazi spawn. Could have floated mana to stop me from getting the 1/1, but I don't think he's worried about it. Well, here we go. I am once again F6'd and hoping for the best. The Bowmaster goes a long way here. Unless it doesn't. Could just like play Car and wish for some shit that kills me and then it's over. Backup Fleshraker. I'm at 14. At least there's not 2 of them. 10 in the pool. I will concede to Kozilek's command. I don't need to spend more time on this. Oh yeah, we're out of here. Yep, had enough. GG's. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 3. I'm playing against Kenta Hokori, who is a regional player to me and has historically enjoyed blue decks. It doesn't necessarily mean anything here. The monocolorless start. I'm going to mulligan this. Here we go. This looks like a normal deck. I'm going to keep and bottom, I think, Gurmag Angler. With the Saga in hand, I have threats. He's going to lead on Misty Rainforest with the intention of getting Hedge Maze, a Polluted Delta. Hope I don't get stifled. I don't know what people are doing right now. Hedge Maze, secured. Tamiyo, that card's really good. I will put that on top. My constructs are going to be so big from all these clues. I even have the Tamiyo plus Brainstorm combo. I think getting Saga Online in the blind is better than just ripping off Tamiyo, though. A fetch for Volcanic Island. That's a relief. End-step Brainstorm, sure. Are we going to see a Troll Cycle, or is this like Storm combo trying to find that last piece? An end-step Brainstorm like this is a little unconventional, especially out of a Volcanic Island deck. Mishra's Bauble. Okay. Could just be like a Dragon's Rage Channeler deck where brainstorming there made sense. Maybe has a 2-drop, wants to cast, and was looking for the second mana. Cards are more powerful than they were when a lot of brainstorm heuristics were developed. The Bauble has drawn the last brainstorm card, but there was no shuffle involved there. I'm going to play Underground Sea immediately. I can at least make a construct here if everything else goes to hell. I can also brainstorm to flip Tamiyo if there's like a removal spell or something I got to think about. We're seeking a beast. I could make a construct and daze, or I could let my opponent seek this beast. I would daze this in all universes where I don't have a face-up Urza Saga ready to go. I want all the constructs. I only get one of each card. I want them to work when I have them. Bauble from Exile. There's a Murktide over there. 1, 2, 3, 4... a fetch land or like ponder into third land drop. Either one of those would get Murktide online. I think I'd have to daze that. Brainstorm happens. I did see that just Izzet Delver with 1 tropical island to sometimes cast the Questing Druid did do well in a recent challenge. People just defaulting to old decks when there's a new format. It's a common thing that happens. Went in on this Urza Saga for no reason. Now if I had dazed the Questing Druid, my Saga would have made the same number of constructs. I still have Daze in my hand, and I'm up a land, though, so it's not nothing. My Tamiyo. I'll fight over this. Sad. Okay, I'm not going to force, because then I'd lose the Brainstorm, which is the card that I'm trying to protect Tamiyo for the sake of. This Murktide is burned off now. That's not happening. Oh, I've got one of these. I'm going to start by attacking. My Murktide's only 4/4 right now. I think I'd like to build up the bank a little bit. Brainstorm. Witherbloom Command is good against some of the things they might do. I don't need Forager and Murktide in this matchup. I'm going to get rid of Forager and Bayou. Or Forager I could pitch to Force. If I keep Witherbloom Command, do I need additional lands here? Like I could just bottom the 2 lands, fetch Undercity Sewer, cast Witherbloom Command in the future. I'm definitely putting back Bayou. I'm deciding between Force, Murktide, Forager, Underground Sea. I also don't have to shuffle. All right, I'm going to put back Bayou, Underground Sea, play Misty Rainforest, and just pass. And then make decisions later. Here's Dragon's Rage Channeler. It is not currently Delirious. What are they missing? Sorcery? Sorcery or creature? Ponder here would be rough. Okay. So there is a runway right now where Witherbloom Command might do something big. I'm not going to shuffle into a daze. If I attack first and they block, the other one gets big. All right, I should attack first. Because if I Witherbloom Command first, I don't get to attack. A -3, -1, and I will mill myself. Green, black. There's a Bayou on top of my deck that's now clear. I can pick up this Urza Saga. Or I could continue developing. Nah, Urza Saga rules. Okay. I am a little behind this Dragon's Rage Channeler now, but my hand's full of good cards. Murktide is 6/6 if I play it now. That's pretty big. I did mill the Nile Spellbomb. The rando Game 1 Nile Spellbomb is gone, which would have been good against their Murktide Delirium deck. Oh, there's the Ponder that would have roasted me last turn. Glad I could clear one of the creatures before this came down. Did not shuffle. There's the basic island picked up off days 100 years ago. And I'm going to get my Undercity Sewer here. Up the Beanstalk. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in. That actually rules. It does cast Murktide Regent into days, but okay. I can cast Murktide, draw a card, force to protect or draw another card, Beanstalk Gaming all of a sudden. And I am playing Forager, not I am playing Murktide, not Forager, because this dies to Lightning Bolt, and that is unacceptable in these circumstances. Hooty doo! Alright. The Beanstalk's gonna do stuff. Keep my 2 damage. My Construct tax, keep that going on the game. And then Murktide Rege. I'm going full hog here. The entire hog is in. I'm hogging. Oh, Shuko. That goes off with the Construct. Surprise extra +2/+1 on the board. Delver Trigger. Flipped Revealing Days right on time. Unholy Heating in the upkeep. Wow. I'm going to let them mill the days away before I force this. All right, Force Pitching Forager. Another Beanstalk trigger. How many decks am I playing right now? Enough. I wanted to let them surveil first because that's clearly the reason for this sequencing. And if they like brainstorm into the days, that would get me too. All right, double Unholy Heat. Will clear the runway. Did end up being a 2 for 2. Flushed out multiple removal spells. Orcish Bowmaster. Not doing a lot here, honestly. Wasteland. Do you want the green or the Saga? The Saga, okay. Here we go. Can I win a race from this position? Not if I cast Thoughtseize. I'm going to play Hooters. The Hoots. Life from the Loam, okay. If I attack for 2, you're at 10. If I attack for 4, you're at 8. And I have another 8 next turn. This race is pretty tight. Do I think I could snipe them with Bowmaster? I'm dead to Lightning Bolt anyway. Yeah, I'll just attack and maybe I could get something out of Bowmaster here. I think that's better than hard committing to the Shuko up front. Mandrills don't have reach, which is nonsense because they live in trees. Delver. I could kill that. Okay. Is your last card in hand a Lightning Bolt? Because I have exactly lethal here. This is 4, 8, 9, 10, and that's their life total. They need something good here. I'm at 2. I can't Thoughtseize to check first. Right, Shuko. Equipped to the Hoots or to the Orc Army? I think I want it on the Orc Army. Just minimizing where the damage, where they can minimize damage. Attack, do I win? What's your last card? Any red spell gets me here. Brazen Borrower gets me here. Ah! Petty Thefting the Construct. Daze is already used. Okay, opponent goes to 3. I can draw a card. A little late. All right. That was a really good game. I want Force of Will out. I want Force of Negation out. I want Red Blast in. Blue Blast in. Snuff out is an answer to Murktide. Furnish just needs an answer to a board full of nonsense. This Reanimate has not come up very well at all. Probably, if I were retuning the deck for the current metagame, would be off that. Just for one of the other million cards in the color spread that would be fun to play with. I don't think I could cut any cheap card. The flying on Tombstalker matters a lot here. Taxsticker is big. I think Ethereal Forager is actually the loser. It just dies to all things and is a significant investment to cast in the first place. Unlicensed Hearse might be good enough to bring in as well. I don't think I want Dismember. That's just a lot of damage to answer something that might not deal that much damage in a deck with lots of other ways to interact. Is Hearse better than Thoughtseize? Probably. Okay. I'm doing this. Oh, the one lander, but it casts Tameo. And Life from Loam is my next land. This is so tempting. I'm going to try it. Obviously comes with risk, but this is why you register 22 lands. Tameo's on the stack. There are a deck full of ways that can kill this. There's one of them right now. Okay, fetch land off the top to dominate this game. Fetch land. Reardan into fetch land. Let's go. Murderous Cut Uro. Uh-oh. Bottom. Fetch land. Uh-oh. We're in the danger zone. Top 4 cards of the deck were not lands. 1 out of every 2.5 cards in my deck is a land. We went 4 in a row without seeing one. That just means my next card is 100% going to be a fetch land, though. Or a land of some variety. Bobble kept the card, which means they're bobbling me. Is it a fetch land? You can tell me. Draw for turn. Oh no, not a fetch land. It is a land, though. And it's a land that kills Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'll take it. Opponent is a Wasteland deck. They're also a Daze deck. I'm going to be as careful as I can be with this. Fetch. At least I don't have to think about Psychic Frog anymore. A Ponder. They shuffled the Ponder. Okay, let's check. And they do have the Daze. It's fine. Gotta start getting those out somewhere. What? No! Bad news. They had the Wasteland. Snuck it in on me. Now it's a real problem. Oh, there's my Daze. Okay, this game might end very quickly. Yep, down to 14. Hit their land drop. 5 cards still in hand over there. Look at this. Easy game. Easy game. Probably still very dead, but this thing eventually showed up. Okay, I mean, Dazing Life from Loam is fine. I can't play this land this turn anyway. If they have another Wasteland, it's not fine. I'm not dredging Loam. No time for that anymore. Just gotta hope to rip. And we did. Alright, can Nadu stabilize this game for me? It is larger than the creature my opponent has. Opponent has played 2 Dazes already. Certainly they could never have more. Pyroblast, Unholy Heat, I've never heard of them. This is cheating. I'm calling the UN. Alright. Still can't concede though. I do have removal spells in my deck, and if I get the board clear at 7 life, that's still a life total we can play from. This has been a classic Delver game though. I missed this, even though it's kicking my ass. Can't afford to dredge. Up the Beanstalk. Well, I could draw 2 cards this turn. Beanstalk. Oh, that's really good. Next turn, I don't know if I have time to do that. I have to leave 1 card in my graveyard. Oh, I don't even have double black. Never mind. This is, I gotta slam the Gurmag, try to do something here. I'm gonna leave Life from Loam in the graveyard. I don't think I can afford to dredge it here. If I had double black, there might be a pathway to dredge Loam and get back to delvability of Tombstalker, but I'm really far away from that. A Lightning Bolt. That seems bad for me. 7 is a good life total. 6 is a terrible life total. 3 is you've functionally lost life total. 3 cards in hand. I gotta deal with what's in play before anything else even matters. Undercity Sewers does not help. How do I do this? Is there a line? I could have Dredged Loam, played Hooties, drawn 1 card. That doesn't matter. Yeah, just not having the double black for Tombstalker is cutting off whatever thin outs I had here. GG's. Stumbling against Delver and coast to coast with Dragon's Rage Channeler plus Lightning Bolt. I said it a minute ago, but it's still true. I genuinely miss that when this is what the format's about, because this is important to understand, because a lot of people are like, Delver, blah, 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 whatever. But it's turn 8. On all turns until this one, even technically this one, at 1 life versus Lightning Bolt deck, I don't feel that good. But last turn when I was at 7, if I had just drawn Fatal Push or Baleful Strix, one of the cards that normally constructed decks that aren't using Lutri would have lots of, even then, after getting clapped with this thing for 5 or 6 turns in a row, I'm still stable and there's game to play. If this is Psychic Frog, they have also drawn 6 cards while this is happening. This is so fair and reasonable compared to that. Like, it's still powerful. It's obviously powerful, but strongly prefer a format being based on interactions like this one and little nickel and dime, and there is a chance to break out, than just snowballing advantage where as soon as the coast is clear, it's over. What a refreshing ass kicking that was. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history.
Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables.
I'm on the play in round number 4. I'm going to keep my hand that has a turn 1 Stifle available. Maybe Stifle Wasteland Days can just make this a non-game. That would be cool. And if they don't give me anything to Stifle, I can get one of the Surveil lands. And unless they just play a basic land from hand, and they did, either the Wasteland or the Stifle would get them somehow. A basic mountain, so Painter or Red Stompy probably are what's going on here. I'm going to get Undercity Sewers. Black is more important to me than green, even though there is a Hooties in my hand right now. I'm going to dump this Underground Sea. I just got one of those. Brainstorm and Ponder. I suspect the Stifle's probably not very good. I'm going to Brainstorm because Murktide and Hooties are both a ways away from being useful. Cool, found a fetch land, love to see it. I'm going to put back Murktide and I think I put back the Bayou here. I can fetch the other Surveil land, have all my colors, keep the Hooties as a threat. What I cannot do here is fetch basic island if they suddenly play a Blood Moon that gets around Days. So I'm going to hope that doesn't happen. Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Okay, probably Painter and not Stompy if there's a Mox Opal in the deck. Or it could be something completely weird like the Epic Gamble or Ruby Storm kind of thing. Could still be either some Red Storm deck or Painter. Egg of the Soul Cauldron. Okay, this is Painter. The Soul Cauldron is a little annoying. Well, the Soul Guide Lantern might be also annoying because I am working towards multiple Delve threats. They took out my land, possibly predicting a Life from the Loam situation. Hedge Maze. I'm going to see if I can get a Hooties in. Thoughtseize Wasteland. Okay, I'll put this on top. Start with Thoughtseize. If they don't activate Soul Cauldron here, a Painter and Fable. I'm going to take Fable. I could kill Painter. If they don't like Soul Cauldron or Soul Guide right now, I can get Hooties. And we're in. The perfect sequence. Caught them slacking with 2 Graveyard Hate cards. Exactly delved a thing out. There's the Mountain. Goblin Engineer. What a tilt. That was a good draw. I can stifle the activation of Goblin Engineer. I could also just kill Painter. Fatal Push. I like that. I think I'm going to start with Ponder and see if I can hit another land here, but the Fatal Push at least gives me a little breathing room. Okay. Lots of lands, actually. I don't think I need 2 of them. Get in there. The Engineer is a little tricky because the Soul Cauldron is really good with it. Right, they ate my Ponder. Ancient Tomb. So we have perfect information here. Painter resolves. If they just go for it, I'll blow them out. If they wait, what happens? So there's a Bayou on top of my deck right now, which I actually don't mind drawing. Okay, so they sack the Soul Guide, targeting the Grindstone. I could stifle this, buy another turn. I could just kill Painter now in response. That sounds like the thing to do. And I can stifle this, draw Bayou, Abrupt Decay this, and then they have basically nothing going on. And no creatures to target with Soul Cauldron. Underground Sea, green, black. There are certainly big draws they could have, but putting them to nothing while they're under a clock always feels good. Oh god, did you draw Chaos Defiler? Oh no! What the hell? Okay, well, like I said, there were some good draws. I could daze this to kill their Lotus Petal at least, which is not like a huge deal, but it also lets me refire the Undercity Sewers. Okay. Well, there is one of the best draws possible. Not only does it take all the pressure off, but it is something they could target with Soul Cauldron, which means this is now also a Goblin Engineer. So in addition to being a giant thing that kills me in 3 turns and takes my card out, it also becomes Painter plus Grindstone over multiple turns if they prefer to do it that way. Nightmare. What does that do? All right, Undercity Sewers. Tarmogoyf. Is there any universe where Tarmogoyf is good enough? Does this target? I don't think it does. Choose a non-land. Nope, it does not. Nadu. Okay, so they attack me for 5, or no, they attack me for 6, and this becomes a Goblin Engineer, or it just is a Goblin Engineer. And it can sack itself if they need to kill something. You know what? I'm going to put faith in the Tarmogoyf and play Nadu. The race is on. Eating my hooties in response. All right, stop drawing cards. Chill. Are there lands in this deck or only bangers? Okay, bad news. And this attack is for 7, the next one's for 8. So this is actually a 2-turn clock, not a 3. There is still a creature in the graveyard. And also, this is just Engineer plus Welder. They could combo me out right now. Do I have any counterplay to being comboed out? I don't think so. I don't have like a Memory's Journey or anything in the deck. Yeah, they can just jam it here if Chaos Defiler doesn't attack. The Defiler is attacking. I must block or else I lose. And now they could just loop Defiler and Graveyard stuff. They could keep my board completely empty while also setting up Painter combo. Orcish Bowmaster. They're not at 1. Does this trample? It does. Of course it does. All right, I'm not going to win if I don't attack. They're not going to draw cards. Why would that happen? I can Bowmaster my own Nadu and get a flip. All right, I'm just going to pass. If they activate Goblin Welder incorrectly, maybe there's a punish here. All right, they just didn't do anything. That is the correct thing to do. They didn't Soul Cauldron in the end step, though. So I actually can double block this and be at 1. Okay. Bowmaster. Do I want the Nadu flip, or do I want to target the Welder? Oh, if I target Nadu... No, that doesn't matter. If they weld out Chaos Defiler and destroy Nadu in response, then they don't have a Chaos Defiler. And I still get a flip, even if I don't get an Orc Army token. I'm surprised they didn't just combo me out last turn. What was I going to do? I was literally hellbent with a Tarmogoyf in play. Okay. Target Nadu. Get a flip. Oh, counterspell. Interesting. Okay. Double block. Go to 1. Still probably lose. Okay. They are letting me stay at 2 because they have bigger plans for this thing. And this thing. Passing the turn. Come on, interaction. That's not it. Now we're pretty much dead. They just have to weld out the Chaos Defiler and it's over. And Lutri costs too much mana to buy and play this turn, even as just a blocker. Yeah, here we go. Doesn't even target. No love. No action on my Nadu. Okay, GG. Chaos Defiler dominating from a position of massive weakness. Okay, we've got Veil of Summer, Consigned to Memory, Blue Blast, Pernicious Deed, Pithing Needle, Unlicensed Hearse, Cut Force of Will, Cut Force of Negation. Snuff Out's not bad. Dismember and Snuff Out, I got options. Maybe, maybe not. Ethereal Forager. Like, I'm worried about inefficient blue cards. Daze just rotted in my hand forever that game. Othy Voidwalker's good here. Baleful Strix not doing a lot. Witherbloom Command's great. Abrupt Decay's great. Could just also cut Murktide. Rely on the black and green Delve monsters. Let's go. Trying it. I have to respect Blood Moon as much as I can here. Or Magus of the Moon. Dismember and Stuff Out are supposed to be in. Stop. All right, reset. Okay. Questing Druid. You're pretty bad. I don't even like that in the deck. And again, the Reanimate. Okay. Questing Druid and Reanimate and Volcanic Island. Immediately cards I would change about this deck if I were to play it again. Okay. This hand is weak to a Magus. Nope. I have Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon answered. Never mind. Hand is perfect. Unbeatable. I'm going to fetch Undercity Sewers here and then have all my colors on turn 2 with various options to interact. Welderino. I can needle that. Sewer. Abrupt Decay. What's up? Right now I can ignore that. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I can decay this Welder if I need to, or anything else that might happen. I can counter a spell. Ancient Tomb. Phyrexian Dragon Engine. This is almost better in play than it is in the graveyard for me. All right, fine. That resolves. You have a 2/2 double strike. Go nuts. All right, I'm going to decay Welder. Got the land for Uro. That feels good. I don't know if I can afford to actually play it, though. Yeah, I'll just pass here. I can take 4 from a Dragon Engine if that's what's happening. Ooh, it's more than 4. Do I want to take 6 and Ward versus a Dragon Engine? I can just hard cast Dismember here, or I can medium cast it. I'm going to medium cast Dismember, which does open me up to Magus of the Moon, but I don't think they have that right now. Going to get the Hedge Maze, keep the selection flowing. Pernicious Deed right on top. Okay, I'm going to slam Pernicious Deed and pass the turn. There is little that this deck can do in a turn that would get me off of hard casting this Deed right now. Mono red, not well known for removing enchantments. Ooh, okay, Arena of Glory could mix things up. Fury. Okay. Yeah, okay. Attacking me for 6 certainly is a thing they could do. Hoisted by my petard. And getting to 5 mana to answer this is going to be tough. Then they have another thing they can escape in their graveyard if they have 1 more mana. Oh, Snuff Out. Thanks for showing up, you sack of shit. Okay, Uro, recoup some life for me. Found a land. The land is not without use. It plays Uro next turn. How good would the Snuff Out have been last turn? I can pay the ward here, or I could just Snuff Out now and not worry about it. Yeah. Guess what I drew this turn? Surprise. I almost forgot to board that in too. Remember that? Okay, slamming Uro into play is what I'm doing right now. Or slamming Uro onto the stack. They do a Pyroblast. Blue, blue, green, green. I don't think waiting for another land around Pyroblast is the solution here. Okay, there's Pyroblast, Underground Sea, and now we wait. If I lose this game, it's definitely going to be one of those games where, with the cards I had, I could have won if I could see the future. But we'll see. The future is now. Lotus Petal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is plenty of mana if their hand is Painter Grindstone to kill me. Uh-oh. Oh, they played the Grindstone first. This is fine. Now I can Deed for 1 if they play Painter. They're going to at least Dragon Engine and attack me for 6 here. Refill the hand. Here it comes. It might be an attack for 4 if they don't equip the boots, if they value having 2 more life more than that, or if they draw another card to play. Okay, they are going for the extra damage. This leaves me dead to Lightning Bolt if it happens. I could also pop my Deed right now, which saves 2 life and kills a Grindstone. I'm not going to do that shit. Bravery in the face of destruction. Okay, another card that would have been good at any point in the game, but it's still good now. It counters Lightning Bolt. I'm interested in making exchanges here, just getting cards in my graveyard, working on the Uro. I'm going to counterspell this. There's not... The timing windows don't favor me if my opponent resolves this into my Deed. Maybe just leaving up 2 mana the rest of the game's not that big of an ask, but with me at 3 life and Painter attacking for 2, that becomes a huge ask. A huge ass. Massive ass. Okay, Pernicious Deed solves this, but then I lose to Lightning Bolt. But if they use their red source to equip Lava Spur Boots, that's fine. Okay, it's time. Pernicious Deed, you got a 4 for 1. I hope that was enough to salvage this game. Drown in the Lock. Okay, the interaction keeps piling up. I could just Needle Grindstone, but I don't think I have to. Not with the spread of interaction I have in my hand. If I Needle wrong, that could be devastating. 4 mana. You got a 1 ring for me? Blood Moon. Okay. I will Blue Blast this. This is definitely a red spell. Future spells might not be red. Dodged. Ooh. I had 2 of them. Okay. I am going to float mana for Force of Vigor and then let this resolve. I think this is a better way to fight this than Drown in the Lock, which can answer more things more generically. Uro is 1 turn away. Opponent's got 2 cards left over there. I have what is certainly a hard counter against their deck. The Dragon Engine's already gone. What are they going to do with this? I could stifle the trigger and then play Uro on my turn, I'm going to drown this in the lock. If their last card in hand is Lightning Bolt or a haste creature with 3 power, they got me. But I could leave up Stifle if I play Uro next turn. I can't leave up Drown. Okay, Ensnaring Bridge. I play lots of answers to that, even though it is going to slow me down a bit. Green, green, blue, blue. We're out of bolt range. Like from the loam, hell yeah. Stifle can control a Goblin Welder for a turn, even if they rip it with haste, which means they don't need to invest the spell bomb yet. Urza Saga. That is a card I do not mind stifling Chapter 2 of. I got 3 Wastelands in the deck. When I find one, it's over. Not a Wasteland. Spell bomb. I'm just going to bomb them and draw a card. I'm ahead if I can keep myself there. Oh no. Well, that's awkward. Who does this favor? I can tutor Shuko out of my deck. Okay, I'm going to play Urza Saga, and I'm going to stifle their Chapter 2. Do I care about Chapter 2? I don't think I actually care about Chapter 2 because they have their own Ensnaring Bridge around. No, that's fine. I'm going to hold on to the Stifle. Their constructs are bigger than mine, but nobody can use them right now. Thoughtseize against a Hellbent opponent. You love to see it. Okay, I'm just going to pass. Construct. Construct. I'm also going to make a construct here, just in case they get Pithing Needle and name Urza Saga. I have to imagine they can do better, though. Their deck's full of cool artifacts. Grindstone. Yep, that's a cool artifact. Okay, let's not draw the Shuko. It's the last target. Cool. Construct. Tutor Shuko, which makes Nadu into an insane rip at this point. Loam back the Saga. Engine online. Equip Shuko. And I should probably Pithing Needle Grindstone at this point. I could stifle an activation though and then do it. But if they get me on the slow, that's really bad. Okay. I'm gonna Pithing Needle Grindstone. Okay, that's the thing I don't have to worry about now. I'm digging to and out to Ensnaring Bridge, which I presume I still have in my deck somewhere, though I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to be dredging Loam. I need spells that do stuff here. What am I drawing to? I've used Force of Vigor and Abrupt Decay already. Witherbloom Command doesn't do it. Brazen Borrower. There's a Brazen Borrower in my deck. Ooh, making the construct right now. Is that for F6 value? What are we doing that for? Blood Moon. Oh, yeah, that's a good reason to do that. Okay, I'm holding my basic. I guess I might as well fetch. Let's get a bad draw out of the way. Okay, holding my basic. Still trying to draw Brazen Borrower as my out here. Murderous Cut is not it. Here's this basic island. Surprise. Gotta leave my Stifle up. Soul Cauldron. That can exile my Loam, but I'm not using that anyway. Preordain. I can tap out a Stifle for a turn. Fatal Push Wasteland. Don't need those anymore. Got a Wasteland anyway. I'm just going to hold that. This is definitely hard mode. I had to use a lot of my outs to this situation early, and now like my Red Blast is gone. It's really just Brazen Borrower. All right, Unlicensed Hearse. Go get him. Painter Servant. Terrifying. They chose blue, which means if they Red Blast my Pithing Needle, the game is over. Oh, I've had Lutri out here the whole time. I could have grabbed that 100 times by now. Just literally forgot it was there. And I can cast it right now. Thank you to the helpful people in the comments who have been screaming at their monitors, screaming, crying, punching their phone screens for the last hour as I don't grab my Lutri. Do they have it? Wowee. Okay. Well, I can stifle the Grindstone once and then die. Okay, stifle that. Draw for turn. Tombstalker. Not close to castable. I can cast Lutri, though. Okay. Yeah, just... They had better game than I did. As the last cards came down, their bridge checked my Uro, and then as we went into the dregs, their things were better than mine. Good stuff. Just going to do a quick check of my deck list to make sure I don't have any tricks here. Nope. There is nothing that will save me from dying right now. Yeah, GG. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me.
Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the draw in the final round. I have one land, but that one land does a lot if it stays in play. Gonna keep the hand. Let's see what we're up against. Underground Sea. Tamiyo. This is a familiar play pattern. Stifle is a pretty good card. Well, I can't afford to play around Wasteland here, so I won't. I am going to Fatal Push your Tamiyo before you can brainstorm into a position where I cannot win. Ponder. The pre-land drop Ponder. Horrifying. Okay. Basically, max punished here. I could Thoughtseize to try to disrupt what they're doing. I could try to stifle this fetch land and get a cheese. Or I could play Tamiyo and start to get back in. I think I gotta know what they're up to over there. Fetch Volcanic Island in response to my Thoughtseize. Brainstorm. I could daze this to get the goods. My greatest hope is that they daze my Thoughtseize, because then I daze and get a land drop. Okay, we are just playing against Grixis Delver in a spot where we're missing land drops and dying. Murktide Regent I don't love. Force of Will I don't love. If they force through the Murktide, that's actually fine. Do I take Brazen Borrower, take them off the potential blue card? If they hit a land and Daze doesn't kill, or Daze doesn't handle Murktide, that's devastating. Alright, I'll just take the Murktide. Murktide is the type of card you're looking for when you Thoughtseize the Delver deck. Bobble. Bobbling me. Please tell me there's a land. Uh-oh, a Murktide. Okay. Well, Tamiyo dies to Molten Collapse, but whatever. If they spend their turn doing that, I just get another turn. And if they don't have a land in between, I can daze it. Orcish Bowmasters. Respectfully, no. This also buys me a turn versus Wasteland, because I have a land I can play, and then I could even stifle the Wasteland if it's just face up. This does clear the way for Molten Collapse, though. That was the land. Or Force of Negation. Just drawing all the worst cards for this matchup. But we're still in it somehow. And Murderous Cut is on. Stop! Okay. Alright. Yeah, that's more of that one. I'll probably have to cut that. We know there's Molten Collapse, which can kill Tamiyo. If they descend, it can also kill the Clue. Which means if they attack here, I have to take an extra damage, because I don't want to descend them. Okay. Tamiyo is deceased. That's fine. Oh no, another Tamiyo. I'm gonna cut the Bowmaster. There's just not room here to be taking damage I don't need to. And if they Force of Will now, I could force back, which would actually be a great exchange in a spot where I am struggling. Yep, they didn't fall for it. Correctly identifying that holding up Force Blue card here is really good. All right, green source off the top. Up the Beanstalk in play. Yeah! Magic is easy. And if they force this, I'll take a Hymn to Tarok on this board, clear the way from Murktide Regent. Yep, Force Pitching Borrower. You got me. Okay, ship it. The Tamiyo is concerning, but we have somehow achieved something close to stability where I have more resources than my opponent does right now. Busting Clues, a Ponder, flips Tamiyo here. Another Goyf. How is that so big? A 5/6. Alright, we're in trouble. Wasteland. Wasteland does let me cast Murktide Regent, which is a 4/4 right now. Hooting Mandrills is also a 4/4 right now. Neither of them beat Nethergoyf. The Murktide would at least blank the Tamiyo. Okay, it's Murktide. If they have Daze, I'm in the Shadow Realm, but I don't think using the Hooting Mandrills to play around it is better. They could attack with Tamiyo to force a damage through, because if they just attack with Nethergoyf, I just take it. Ponder with a card in their hand. Okay. This flips Tamiyo in combat. That's alright, that just lets me block the Orc army. Did not shuffle. Tamiyo's getting in. I'm going to block. I know they can flip it, but this at least does force the action, make them use their mana rather than on something else, and like add their own Murktide to the board or something here. Come on, Fatal Push. Abrupt Decay, that works. I'm going to attack Tamiyo for 3 and Wasteland their black. and then use Abrupt Decay to ride to victory. I'm not quite in double bolt range. Boo! Abrupt Decay. From the bowels of history comes this removal spell. I'm at 7. They could just refire the Nether Goyf. I don't know how big it would be, and I'm not going to bother to figure it out. They can cast it if they want to. Uh-oh, Murktide's even worse. I treaded my water for a while, but I think the party is just about over here. Turns out, while they are a delight to deck build and to play, decks that play 1 of every card are usually worse than decks that play 4 of only the best cards. Yeah, there's a Murktide. It is a 7/7. Nethergoyf is still 4/5. So many card types. Uro, thanks for nothing, buddy. I could jump for a turn, go to 6. I guess I got to draw here. I can at least do that before I concede. Undercity Sewers, I get to look at another card. Does that help? I can stifle in Uro, jump, go to 6, stifle in Uro, I'm at 9. Tamiyo has regrown a spell by then. You know what? I'm going to play it out. Let's go. Hero game. This Force of Negation functionally doesn't work in my hand. Does this line even work? Because I have the fetch land there. Yeah, they found the forced block, which gets the extra point through. Good fundamentals. Now I'm dead to double bolt. Dragon's Rage Chandler. I was barely alive to the last sequence of cards. I'm going to play Verdant Catacombs, cast Uro, and then see if this game is worth revealing that I have Stifle in my deck. Trigger. Dothy Voidwalker. I'm at 9. I have to go to 8 to stifle this, and I'm dead to the Flyers. Okay. We've seen this one before. Force of Will, Force of Negation out. I think Unlicensed Hearse is fine. Red and blue Elemental Blasts, I'm interested in both. Snuff out against Murktide is good enough. I don't think I want Deed. Their Grixis, Veil of Summer's not without text, but it also might not be great. Ethereal Forager cannot be justified. The Reanimate, that has not been good at any point in this league. Uh-oh, I like all the cards that are left. Yeah, I was iffy on the Veil anyway. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Let's salvage a win on the way out here. Okay. A bunch of stable mana, Life from the Loan, and Baleful Tricks. I don't mind these sort of starts versus Delver. Them being Grixis with Bowmaster does make something like Strix a lot worse. But what are you going to do? I might just try to wastelock them here. I'm going to lead on Verdant Catacombs. I can fetch Hedge Mace with this, or I could just leave it in play to protect my green from Wasteland. I'd love if they cast Ponder off of a non-basic land right now, or just went land go. Those are both acceptable to me. If they play a Delver or a DRC, wasting under that, it gets a little more iffy. Tamiyo's not as bad. It does still do stuff, but if you can't crack the clues, as we saw earlier in this league, Tamiyo doesn't do a lot. Underground Sea, still have lands, basically cheating. And the flip, the nasty down dirty flip. I do have Witherbloom Command, Abrupt Decay, a few ways in the deck to kill Planeswalker Tamiyo. I could stifle the ultimate when we get there. Time to get Hedge Mace. Can't fart around anymore. Urza's Saga. I do not want that. I think what I want to do here is deploy Tarmogoyf, a card that is potentially large enough to challenge Tamiyo. Then we've got Leovold. My favorite thing about Leovold is the art where he's got his elbow on the desk, reaching his hand across, like shake my hand, which is exactly the motion you make when you resolve this versus a control deck. Good game. Okay. They can Molten Collapse. We've seen that card in their deck. Dragon's Rage Channeler is not that card. Ponder. They're just doing a bunch. They are going to have Delirium at the end of this. But every card type they add to the graveyard grows my Goyf, who is now suddenly 5/6. That's a lot of meat on that turkey. I could shove Leovold onto the stack. A card that is highly susceptible to Daze. But if it gets countered, then Goyf does an extra damage in combat. But I don't really want to offer Leovold up as a sacrificial lamb. I could also Life from the Loam 3 cards back, try to waste them off playing the game. I'm just going to attack Tamiyo first and see how they handle that. Okay, they just took the 4. That's fine. Do I want to try to screw them, or is 5 cards in hand too many to play that game? I can also just play Strix, put it in front of this DRC, make them do something. I think I like that just fine. Red Blast. And I do have access to my Volk. Cool. That also answers Tamiyo. And Murktide Regent. The first appearance of Volcanic Island in a way that is relevant in the league. Count it. We got there. Pyroblast my Strix. Yep. That puts, or there was already an artifact in the graveyard. It puts a creature in the graveyard. Goyf is almost the max here. We're close to the end. Your Goyf's smaller than mine, because I get everybody. You only get you. 3 damage coming through. End step, get the Volk. Glad I didn't wasteland them. They had a land to play. Volcanic Island achieved. I will play that and then attack Tamiyo, who will die if they don't block. Okay, yeah, they just said you can have it. Cool. Going for damage. I respect it. There is a lot of damage on the board. Leovold. I guess I'm just going to take 8 and try to stabilize from behind. This Volcanic Island, a massive telegraph of red Elemental Blast. Tons of land drops. This is why it's dangerous to try to wasteland Delver. I did waste them once. It didn't work, and then they did all this. Yeah, I'm at 8. My Goyf is bigger than your Goyf. This Beanstalk is exciting. This is a risky game versus Bowmaster, but Leovold is extremely interesting when faced with a Bowmaster as well. If they play Bowmaster, I'll Brainstorm in response and hope they don't have 2. Petty Theft targeting Tarmogoyf in response. So Leovold's going to trigger first. Well, DRC triggers first, then Leovold. I would like to draw a card. Yes. Wow, that was really good. I am going to Red Elemental Blast. Or when do I want to do this? I'm actually going to push the Channeler first, because this plays around Daze on the essential thing, which is removing this flying creature. A fetch in response. What are we doing? Is it Bowmaster time? Sacking a clue. They do get to draw 1 card each turn, and this is that card. Okay, that's handled. I am going to try to counter target blue spell now. This can get dazed, but that was more important. Oh, we're in there. Oh my goodness. Bayou. I have Loam in my hand. I can get that Bayou back later. I think... So if they kill my Tarmogoyf, am I going to block with Leovold this turn? I think the answer is no, which means I'm just going to attack. As if they Molten Collapse my Tarmogoyf and attack, that does put me into bolt range, but I don't think I would jump with Leovold there anyway. Just got to hope that this turn holds. They drew Murktide. This Nile Spellbomb is going to be a turn late. And I actually have all 6 card types in my graveyard, which is interesting because if they have Murktide, they could have attacked me with Nether Goyf. I block with Tarmogoyf. Goyf has 5 damage on it. Then they delve away 2 unique card types from their graveyard, if they had them, but they don't. So there is, like, the potential of a cool combo trick that you have to think about here. Okay, there is Murktide. Played as 3/3, which generally means there's another Murktide. I can Nihil Spellbomb them, but that will grow the Murktide. With our Bloom command. That's not really where I want to be right now. I'm going to Brainstorm and try to solve my Murktide problem. If I can kill this Murktide, the game becomes phenomenal for me, I think. Loam actually just doesn't matter. With our Bloom command, they have 3 spells in the graveyard that would make Murktide 6/6. I could gain life and get out of range. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of one of these extra fetch lands. And then fetch for a Trop and try to ponder into some action. I've used my red card. Don't need to buff that anymore. Nethergoyf Uro. Uro. Are you enough? It could happen. Okay. Do not shuffle. And then play Uro. This puts me to 10. If I spellbomb them, they have a 6/6, which puts me back to 4. I'm still out of bolt range, and Nethergoyf is a 0. The land goes in. Oh, the fetch. The fetch actually puts me back into bolt range. I just don't think they make this play if they don't have another Murktide. And this is just going to happen anyway. Oh, okay. That tells the story. All right. So this can become 7/7 when they play the second Murktide. Do they also have Lightning Bolt? Is it over? I don't know how I'm going to beat 2 Murktides, so it's probably over. The answer is probably yes. Yep. Had the read. Didn't matter. So I need to draw like Murderous Cut, trigger Beanstalk into another removal spell here. Oh no, that's the wrong Elemental Blast, but we knew that. Okay, blue, blue, green, green. Trying to be careful not to change my Tarmogoyf too much. They have a land in the graveyard. I have an artifact creature. Okay. Tarmogoyf didn't change. Uro triggers. Oh wait, are we gonna get? We're gonna get an interaction. An interaction has occurred. Counter target red spell. What are my outs? I think they're all black. Do I need to leave up green for any reason? No. I don't think I have any outs here anyway, but I don't think they're green. So I have to hit Murderous Cut into something else. All right, that's not Murderous Cut, and also stops my ability to cast Murderous Cut. Okay, my Tarmogoyf just got smaller against my will. Oh, no, it didn't. We managed to dodge. Snuff Out! Oh my god. Okay, Murderous Cut into Snuff Out was a line. There was literally a line that did it. It just wasn't this. And at 13 life, even if I snuff out the blocker... Alright, GG's. Tough outing with Bug Lutri here, but that's not really a surprise. Legacy is a powerful format, and it was recently broken, and it's slightly less broken now, but still kind of broken. But even if it wasn't, the very obvious and proven Magic the Gathering deck building theory of you should play 4 of the good cards exists for a reason. Lutri is beneficial. It's worth... The juice is worth the squeeze in situations where you are going to get value out of this. In all of the games that were close, there was not even an opportunity to reach for Lutri. I was just using all of my mana every turn. I was using all my spells to stay alive, and having a 6 mana 3/2 flash never mattered, much less having the opportunity to actually double a spell with it. The one game where I could have reached for it and just honestly forgot I had it because I had the box minimized, it would not have changed the outcome. It was definitely wrong to, like, it was a miss. It should have been in my hand for several turns at the time where I noticed, but I had used all my spells to even get to that point, and I was locked under Blood Moon, and, like, what are you going to do? I get comments or questions pretty regularly where people will be like, wouldn't Karuga be free? Or not Karuga, Kahira? Wouldn't Kahira be free here? Wouldn't Gigantha be free here? No, it's never free. It costs a sideboard slot. And then Lutri, specifically, extremely unfree. This deck building that you need to do to get access to this, and then this needs to be worth this. And at least here it's not. You also need to make the most out of every card that you are playing, and I think that the red splash for Questing Druid is not worth it. I drew this 3 or 4 times this league when I didn't have my Volk, and it was just a 1/1 creature that I never cast. The Reanimate, we didn't play against any of the decks where it would have been really good. Anything like Initiative Stompy or actual Reanimator, let them entomb, then you take it from them. But maybe that's a sideboard card. Maybe it doesn't belong here at all. If you're gonna brew and be wild, it does have to be perfect. Also, being a 3.5 color deck with 4 colorless lands, that came up. I did have to mulligan a hand with Saga plus Wasteland. The Saga's really only in the deck to get Shuko for the 1 of Nadu. Maybe you don't need to play all that package. You can just play Nadu as 3/4, don't touch my stuff. That still works, and then you don't need to play Urza Saga. And you get a slot out of Shuko. You could even still just play the Shuko as a fun of that you find sometimes, and it's cool. The very fun thing, though, is that all of the games were pretty back and forth and we did stuff. And it came down to like, oh, they had the days here, or I missed my 4th land drop after getting wastelanded, or these tight little decisions. I did not feel like we just got completely dumpstered and games were decided on turn 2 or 3. That mostly didn't happen here. We had good back and forth Magic, and opponents' decks were constructed better than mine, which provided them an advantage, but at least we were playing, and I'm a big fan of that. And of course, if you just like playing with fun decks or cards like Lutri, go nuts. You don't have to be optimizing at all times just to have fun. God Santa, thank you for submitting this. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.